I'm from the Galilee, and I studied 4 years in Jerusalem at the Hebrew University. So I finished high school, and I live in Beit Jala, it's like near Bethlehem, Beit Jala, so it's near Jerusalem.
And you were allowed to leave and to...
I cross checkpoints every day, and actually, sadly, for the soldiers, I don't look like a Arab, so I get like really move smoothly there. But when I get but there are a lot of restrictions. Yep.
After sharing with you my complicated story, I live in an area between Ramallah and Jerusalem called Kfar Aqab. I hold the Jerusalem ID even though I am from Jaffa. And partly from Ramallah, my mother is from Ramallah. And so I got here by crossing the borders to Jordan and then flying to Europe and then coming here.
What kind of passport? What kind of...
we don't show our passports actually.
Actually, I don't have a passport.
We have a
really.
different passport.
Actually, I don't have a passport. I have two travel documents. I have a travel document given to me by the Israeli authorities called a laissez-passer, and I have a Jordanian travel document, a Jordanian passport, but it is not a citizenship.
Okay, this is the Israeli passport.
This is the Israeli passport. I have it because I have the citizenship. This one, and Tamara has the Jordanian. Oh no, this is the Palestinian Authority.
Yeah, you remember?
In the airport we like passed in the check, like cross the border checking, and the guy who checked her passport told her, Palestinian Authority, is this a new thing? Like, where does this thing come from? Like, oh. And she said, yeah, I issued my passport like newly, but he said, no. Palestinian Authority, what is this? Like, is this a passport or what? Like, so, you see, and Tamara has a...
This is my Jordanian passport. It is a travel document, it's a temporary passport, not citizenship passport, even though I recently discovered, like maybe last year, that according to the Israeli authorities, my legal status is a Jordanian citizen living in Jerusalem. And Jordan doesn't recognize me, they give me a travel document, so I don't really have a passport.
Following up on that, you had to go through a number of passport controls. So were they different? Like if you went to the UK, what happened there? When you came to the US, what happened there?
Yeah.
Actually, when we came from Jordan, or when we left the West Bank to go to Jordan, Marie went from a specific road, and also Tamara, she went from a specific direction, and also I have to go from a specific direction. So all of us have to go through different routes or processes so that we all meet again at Jordan.
Then what happened? Yeah, then you went to the UK?
No.
No, you went directly here?
We flew from Jordan to Germany.
Okay.
And then from Germany to Philadelphia. Now, ironically and randomly, I was selected for security control in Germany. It was a random check, supposedly.
They like you.
So when you say each one of you went for different road, so you have different special treatment for each one of you?
Yeah.
One is nice, one is less, and depends what you are wearing, they treat you.
For example,
could you tell us how?
For Marie,
Okay.
she has to go,
For Marie, she can go directly from Israel to Jordan. She doesn't have to do any checks. For Tamara,
I go to the Israeli border control and then the Jordanian border control. You go through Jordanian border control, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We have a question over sometimes they are nice, sometimes that like they get confused and nervous and ask you a lot of questions. Yeah, it depends on the mood.
Okay, so my question is, since most Israelis are serve in the army, I'm wondering how you think the militarization of Israeli culture affects how they view and treat Palestinians. Sorry, I don't know if the microphone is on. Oh, okay. Sorry. Since most Israelis serve in the military, I'm wondering how you think the militarization of Israeli culture affects how they view and they treat Palestinians.
Well, I want to speak about this issue because I'm inside of the Israeli society, and actually what Israel does is divide and conquer. So people from the Palestinian society have to go to the military. Palestinian Jews have to serve in the military. Now, what are working on it, that Palestinian Christians have to go to the military, to serve in the military. So it is a constant reality of eliminating your identity. And military is really an awful place to be in, because the Arab soldiers, they put Arab soldiers on the checkpoints in order to tell us, look who is oppressing you. The Arab is oppressing the Arab, not us. And they brainwash them in a way that they really be strangers. And it is really sad, because listen, if we don't get together, the Palestinians inside of Israel, wouldn't be a society anymore. And we have a lot of problems inside of Israel as a Palestinian minority, also called minority, because of all the procedures and the practices that the colonial Israel practices against us.
I would like to also add about to Marie's response that the militarism that they all of them, they go to the army, they come to the West Bank, or they go and bomb Gaza, or they're stationed on the borders. Being given this impunity to do whatever they want, being given this power and these weapons when they are 18 or 19 years old, is making rates of violence increase very quickly and very highly in their society. And so the violence that they are inflicting on us, we have become in a way used to it, and we know how to deal with it. But it is to them that it is also disintegrating them as a society. I would have liked to say that.
I just want to say last point on this, and there's a lot of soldiers, Israeli soldiers, that commit suicide after serving in the West Bank or Gaza or in any war, like with Lebanon, for example.
Yeah. So it affects their soul.
Of course, it's a military. It's like...
Thank you for the presentation. Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. I really enjoyed it. And I'm from Nazareth, Marine. Not far away from you. I hope you'll have a bigger and bigger platform to present your case. You talked about land grab and settlements and all that in the West Bank. And maybe a lot of people here, they probably not know that there's a lot going on inside Israel for the Arabs in Israel. So could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
So,
Because there's a lot going on inside Israel.
yep. Actually, when, yeah, we get to be forget about.
We really, no one remember us. It is sometimes frustrating to live in a bubble, frustrating to live in a fake reality. Imagine that you pass by the village called Balad al-Sheikh near Haifa, or a road called Yajur, and you know this is a Palestinian area. This is a Palestinian village that was demolished in 48, and you live in a constant reality of the loss. You live in a constant reality of you are in a world that doesn't look like you, and it's really hard for us, for me, I will speak about me, to be aware and to deal with the Israeli, my colleagues, I work in a governmental office, Israeli one, so it's really hard for me to treat them as all of a sudden is all normal and it's okay. So for us, that's the reason that a lot of Palestinians living inside of Israel live in a denial that this will give them their comfortable zone, and please don't let us go out, because the reality is very painful. So but it's really for our unity, for our nation, we have to speak out and we have to continue working together.
I think there is laws in Israel.
Yes, of course.
Books,
Yeah.
The laws.
Target them, to grab land away from the
Yeah.
area. And one that comes to mind, which is really amazing, a lot of people don't know it. They designate, for example, a farmer's land that belongs to the Arabs, they designate it as a military zone. And,
Yeah, of course.
And as a military zone, that means they cannot go into it. And the law says if you don't cultivate your land and take care of it, then you will lose it.
Yes.
So that is their way to grab the land.
Of course, this is the same. This is what happened in the 48. There was a curfews because we were under a military rule. So we were under curfew. So they issued a law that says that each land which is not cleaned or planted for 7 years, these land will be confiscated. Confiscated. So because of the curfews, the landowner cannot go to his land to plant it and to clean it. So for 7 years, they claims that the landowner is absent. So it's an absent properties. So they can go seize it and capture it, and that's it. But the landowner is inside. He's just away some kind of meters away from his land, but he cannot reach it because of the curfews, because of the military rule. And we have about 51 discriminative laws about the returning back. No one can return back to Palestine. Just Jews, any relative Jews, you can go back and have a citizenship, and they will give you a house. They will make your life very easy for you. Just please come back and live your life as a Jew, as an Israeli. We have what is called our land. If you want to build in your land, you have 3 concepts: land for planting, land for construction, and the green land. So what's really the first 2 are clear. And the third one is like Greenland. So if you think about something natural or nature or preserved something, but it's not like that. It's just how they seize your land. So you know in the future, if you go to the municipality or to the governmental office and you say, oh, this is my land, and they will tell you, oh, it's a Greenland. But how it's a Greenland? It's my land. And if you go to the court and do a lot of things, and they will tell you, oh, you can't build on this. It's a land for planting. It's not good for building on it, construction. So with the years, you get frustrated and you sell your land. And suddenly, on your land, 2 years, 3 years later, there's a settlement built on your land. So these are very, I can't speak about it a lot, but there's a lot of procedures that we go through, which seem legal, which seem okay by the law, but of course the law will serve the powerful, will serve the colonial body inside of Palestine.
I have just a very short comment. You know, before you beautiful lady started, I was expecting that you talk in the terms of traditional politics, and I am very pleased you did not. What impressed me is really the human element that you talk about, and I encourage you to continue doing that human element and get away from the traditional politics. You, the youth, can make a change.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll take just a couple more questions. I think you had your hand up first. Just so hard.
Hey, you're getting a workout. I wanted to ask what impact on your daily life do all the travel restrictions have on, especially with multiple identifications and the complications that come with citizenship in a militarized zone. I know that you went to school, and clearly since you're traveling, I'm guessing you're probably more privileged than many back home. What difficulties do you encounter in this terms of access to the things that you need to just make your life happy and successful?
Yeah. Well, where to start?
I mean, that's the human element I want to hear about.
Okay.
Community struggles.
So for me, Gaza has been under siege again since 2006. So since then, we have restriction on movement, both from Egypt and Israel. For example, I'll give you one example. In 2010, when I wanted to go to the UK, it was impossible for me to try and apply for the Israelis to get a permit. So I have to wait till Egypt give me the chance or the access to get out of Gaza. Now, and I did it after many attempts. I did it and get out. Now, things are changing, but still with all these restrictions. This was in 2010. At the time, it was Mubarak who was ruling Egypt. Then you have Morsi, who eased it a little bit for us to get out. Then you have Sisi, who is now the president of Egypt, and who has completely sealed off Rafah crossing. So, for example, now when I applied to come here to the US, I would never ever think to try Egypt, because it's completely sealed off, and there is a very long queue of terminally ill people who are waiting, of students who have their visas to get out, of people who are about to lose their residencies, especially in the Gulf. So I know that for me, my turn, it will not come. Because they are waiting, and the border, for example, for 6 months, it's completely sealed off.
So the AFSC again, they applied for a permit for me through Israel. So you can see how it becomes different. Sometimes it's Egypt, sometimes it's Israel. And again, I'm privileged. I am privileged because at the end I get the chance to get out. As I'm speaking to you right now, I know that there is someone in Gaza who is dying because he or she cannot get out. They want a treatment, especially people with cancer, and we have been noticing